So basically, if you look at a straight line graph for inverses, so let's say, for example, we have a graph of y is equal to x plus 1. The equation of the inverse is that you just invert the x where you put the x where the y is, and you put the y where the x is. So we always gonna go in all of the graphs. We're gonna look at what is the original graph, what is the inverse graph, what is the domain, and what is the range of the graphs. So this graph over here, y is x plus 1, we can draw the graph also. You can draw the graph on your own. The graph is probably gonna look like this. Okay, that's the graph, like that. The inverse is going to be x is equal to y plus 1. Then you just solve for y. We just take that 1 over and you get x minus 1 y. So therefore y is equal to x minus 1. And that's the equation of the inverse of this graph. So you just put the x where the y is, and then the graph it will look like that, minus 1. Now what's very important to understand is that the line that these graphs are reflected upon is this line over here. Just see quickly. That's the y equal to x. Okay, y equal to x. The y equal to x graph, or the y equal to x line is like the axis where the two graphs are reflected upon to get the inverse of one graph to the other graph. It looks a bit messy, so let me just repeat it quickly. So let's say that's the y equal to x, right? And then we draw let's say our graph looks like that. The first graph looks like that. So let's say the first graph looks like that. Let's say the first graph looks like that. That's one. And then our second graph, you can just draw the graph on your own. Will look about like that. Okay. And the point I want to make basically here is that y equal to x is the line where you'll get your graphs that are going to be inverted upon. The basic understanding is that you just to get the equation of the inverse, you just switch your x where the y is and the y where the x is. That's all that you do, and that's it. The straight line graph is very straightforward. And for the inverse, for both the inverse and the f of x is the original graph, and f of minus 1 x is the inverse, minus 1. The domain of the f of x is the element of real numbers, and the domain and the range of f of x. So let's say that's f of x, right? And that is f, and that's the inverse of f of x. The domain of f of x is the element of real numbers, and then for the inverse of f of x, the domain and range will kind of be the exact same. This is for a straight line graph, so it's very, very straightforward for a straight line graph.